So I want to share with you a story that happened to me almost 20 years ago. Gosh, that has flown by. It's with this conversation I had with a Tibetan Lama. I will share with you the important message that he shared with me back then about what was going to happen to us right now. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Thomas Garbarino. Please go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell so you get the notifications every week. It really helps the algorithm so more people see this free content for all of you that are looking for holistic solutions to heal your body, your mind, and your heart. You've come to the right place. This is where it happens. And go ahead, as a free gift, go down in the links below and grab your free healing meditation. So let's get into this. So this was almost 20 years ago, 2003. I had the good privilege to sit with this Tibetan Lama. During the course of the conversation, he shared that what was going to happen for humanity in the course of what is occurring right now. And it's almost freaky how accurate he was. So one of the first things he shared with me is that we will be in a time period where there'll be a lot of opposition within ourselves, opposition to our relationships, nation against nation, race against race. It was just everything was going to get stirred upside down. Friends become enemies, enemies become friends. Strange situation as it appeared from 2003, but now obviously we all understand that. The other thing that he said was that there will be an increase of viruses that will be spread throughout humanity. And those viruses, those infections will cause people to get very ill, and that a lot of people will unfortunately die because of it. Other few things that he mentioned was that the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat will all be contaminated in some degree of toxicity. So that means the food we eat, the nutrients we eat will be less, and there will be a higher degree of toxicity in the food. And the food will be altered, is what he said, meaning that maybe the genetic modification, but I think he was speaking more to the actual what we take in will be altered, that it won't be the same consistency or chemical structure that it was, 100 years ago, let's say. The water, we already know water is mostly polluted, filled with toxic chemicals, chlorines and fluoride. So many pharmaceuticals are just there in the water. You think you're just getting a glass of water, but you're getting someone's antidepressant medication. Strange, but that is the reality we are living in today. The other thing that he mentioned is modern medicines that have been created over the last century will not work, and that they will also be contaminated. They will not have the same effect at helping some of these viral infections. And that there's really one way that he was suggesting to all of us in this conversation was you can turn to those medicines. They may help little, but mostly he said they will be ineffective. If anything, he said they will harm people more as time goes on. I find that very interesting in the state that we're in today. We're seeing that more and more. So many side effects, so many injuries happening with our modern medicine. Almost higher risk taking it than not. But the solution that he presented to all of us, that isn't just solely his tradition, but is in many traditions, is understanding the energetic anatomy. And he said over and over again, relearning how to open the energy channels. Opening the energy channels is what will help humanity survive and really, he said, thrive throughout this time period. And those of you who are been on this channel, we talk a lot about how keeping our energy up, how do we keep our energy open, and through the practice of Qigong. Now, he mentioned two practices, believe it or not. The first practice was more from his tradition, which was Tibetan and yogic in nature, and how those practices were specifically designed to open the channels, open the energy channels. And then he mentioned in the ancient Chinese, the Qigong. Qigong method was a way to open up the energy channels. And those you know, we talk a lot about Qigong. That is my personal background. And that's, I think, probably where the seed was planted in me to start studying Qigong, because when I got sick and I became the canary in the coal mine for my community to start looking at some of these things, I had to do my own healing journey. And Qigong was a huge, probably one of the most important parts of my healing journey, was having that practice available to me each and every day. As he said, it helped open my energy channels. And as it opened my energy channels, for those of you who aren't familiar, opening the energy channels is not necessarily like a physical, tangible thing initially. It has more of a felt sense experience of yourself within your body. When you're sick and you are suffering from some chronic illness, typically in the body, the sense feels constricted, feels stagnant, feels blocked in a lot of ways. But when you open up these energy channels, there's just a felt sense of things opening up. The circulation of the body improves, oxygenation of the cells and the tissues improves, and you just overall feel better in your body. What can we do to help do what this Lama was proposing almost 20 years ago to help us? By opening up those energy channels, as he suggested, what it does is it does shift our physical nature. So literally the material of our body changes each time we open up those energy channels. Secondly, it helps our mind. Sometimes our mind, when we're suffering from all these things, it is in a state of dysregulation. When I say mind, I'm including the nervous system in this. So when we open up the energy channels, it's like that dysregulation all of a sudden starts to naturally come back to a state of harmony, and you feel like in balance. So your emotions aren't swaying you this way or that way. Your thoughts aren't taking you down these rabbit holes of negativity and pessimism. It just alleviates all that. And without you thinking about it, this is really important, you feel more in a state of peace and harmony inside. And as you do that, your heart opens up more. So third thing is your spirit, right? It magnifies. It feels bigger, brighter, more elevated, enlightened, if you will. When we live in that state, our immune system, our lymphatic system, all the systems of the body, really, they just improve. The efficiency of the body improves. The efficiency of the mind and efficiency, if you will, of the energy improves. It is very hard for these pollutants, contaminants, infections to take hold in a system like that. And so this Lama was saying that, my goodness, like the brilliance that he had to know that we were going to go through this time period, this bottleneck time period where there would be so much suffering going on in humanity. This was his prayer. This was his blessing to give back, to say, this is one way to safeguard yourself throughout this time period. So with sincere gratitude, I thank this Lama for sharing that, and hopefully you got something out of this video from hearing this. And if you want to know more about how you can open your energy channels, stay tuned with this channel. We have lots of content to help you understand the whole process, and Qigong videos that you can practice, something you can do every day to stay healthy, well, and happy. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day.